Yes, you were all at another Creative Mornings. The theme for this month is underdog, and that was picked by our Edinburgh chapter and illustrated by Astrid Jekyll. I think it's pronounced, I'm not sure. Edinburgh describe underdog as something that questions and expands what's considered possible. And that is kind of part of the reason that I contacted Jon and invited him to talk for us today, like without kind of stepping on his toes and going too much into what legup.social do. I just felt that they were a good fit because of how they kind of inform, help, and inspire their mentees. And they're often people that could be considered more of an underdog, so small businesses and charities, social enterprises. So the work legup.social do is invaluable in helping them kind of build a digital profile, but Jon will go into more detail about that. So I need to thank our global sponsors, without whom Creative Mornings wouldn't be able to run and exist. So the first sponsor is MailChimp. And as I mentioned last month, they recently acquired Courier Media, which is a bi-monthly magazine that delivers real stories and insights to help people work better and live smarter. And in honor of the theme underdog, they are giving away a digital mini edition of their annual Business of Design publication, which is full of tips and case studies from creatives and designers who are building successful businesses. And if you'd like a copy of that, you just go to the link that's shown there, and hopefully Molly's able to put that in the chat for you as well, that you can copy. Our next sponsor is WordPress, who are responsible for 99% of the websites on the internet. That's a lie, I've made that figure up, but a lot of websites. So they have partnered with Creative Mornings to launch season 3 of Own Your Content, which is a website full of interviews and resources from people like John Mader, Maria Popova, and Paul Jarvis, giving you tips on how you can go about creating content for yourself or your business. And the next sponsor is Basecamp, and they are a new sponsor for Creative Mornings this year. They have recently launched Hey, which is their version of an email platform, so something like Gmail or Outlook. They've completely reinvented how email can look. And if you'd like to sign up for a free trial, just head to hey.com and you can do that there. So as you all know, Creative Mornings is a global event that occurs in kind of 215 cities across the world. We attract, in normal times, 20,000 attendees a month, but I'm sure the chapters are attracting more than that now, with us all being able to operate online. Creative Mornings also run field trips, which are online kind of tutorials and classes that are running for free, and you can they cover a wide range of topics, so you can learn language, yoga, watercolor painting, anything really. So they're worth checking out as well. So bringing it back to Sheffield, we need to thank our sponsors and supporters here that help keep the Sheffield chapter running. So first is the Art and Design Department at Sheffield Hallam University, who have backed us from nearly since Penny set this chapter up in Sheffield, and we wouldn't be able to continue running without their support. We'd also like to thank the site gallery who have joined to support us this year. Obviously, they've been having a difficult time lately, same as everyone else. They had to close, but they are hoping to reopen on the 9th of September. So you should all keep an eye out for the reopening and head along there. In the meantime, though, if you go to their website, there is information on Instagram takeovers that they've been running, reading groups, films you can watch, and workshops for families. So they haven't, just packed it in for the last few months. They've been working on a lot of activities that you can engage with still online. So moving on to the team. So that's me. I'm Leanne, your host. Hello. Molly, who is helping me this morning with chat, and Molly's also the person behind the newsletters that you receive every month. And Joe is usually our resident photographer, but unfortunately with us being online, we haven't been able to benefit from his skills and talent, which is a shame because I always look forward to seeing his photos, although not the ones of my double chin, which seem to just sneak in all the time. But Joe is still working at the moment. So if you need any kind of socially distant portrait photography, or you've got any products that need photographing, Joe's your man. Just head to his Instagram page and you can check out some of his work. It's lovely. And he's also selling prints as well. Matt is our resident videographer. He is busy at the moment kind of editing all our previous Zoom ones, which I'm hoping to get on our website soon. Just, cutting out my gormless face from some of the videos is taking quite a lot of time. But as soon as the videos are ready, I'll upload them onto the website so you can catch up with any that you might have missed. Rich is our team hero. He's the person that we call on whenever we need a photographer or a videographer or, some wise words. And Lucy is our team greeter. So when we're in person, Lucy's the smiling face that you see when you get to our events. And Jack is our resident illustrator. He's been working throughout kind of lockdown as well, and he is working on a collection of illustrations based on the speakers from Creative Mornings. So if you head to our Instagram page or his Instagram page, you can check them out and give him a follow. So the hashtag for this month is CM Sheffield and CM Underdog. If you want to share anything on Twitter or Instagram about this morning's event, compliments only then, please. Then use the hashtags. I always like seeing what people have posted afterwards. So without further ado, today's speaker is Jon Rhodes, aka legup.social. So just bear with me while I exit my screen and then can hand you over to Jon.
Cool. Cheers, Leon. Morning, everyone. It's lovely to see you all virtually. Hi, Jim. My name's Jon. I am a co-founder of a company called Paper, which is a research and design studio based in Sheffield. I'm not talking about that today. I'm also one of the co-founders, co-organiser and a mentor of something called legup.social, which is what I am talking about today. I've got some slides, got some stuff, got some pictures to talk through. This is about 30 minutes of just me talking. I just want to do something where hopefully it's interesting, hopefully you can sit back with a brew and relax. There's no participation or anything like that, so I hope it's interesting. I will share my screen. And can someone give me a thumbs up? Is that showing okay? Wicked. yeah, first thing, genuinely thank you for getting out of bed. It's early. I really appreciate it. So thank you. It's good to see you all. Leanne got in touch back in November and sent an email. It included some of these words, and she mentioned it when she was introducing stuff. legup.social is all about helping charities and social businesses, and wondered if I could tie that in with the theme of Underdog this month. And I'm going to be really honest, I tried to get the theme throughout it, and it didn't work. And I'm just going to mention it and then leave it here for now. So there is a theme to today's sessions throughout the world, I guess, but I'm just going to park it for now. What I thought would be interesting, or hope is interesting, is talk a little bit about what legup.social is, how it became a thing, what it's been like for the last 3.5 years, the good stuff and the not so good stuff, share some stories from some of the people that we've helped, and then just end by talking about what's next for all things legup. So I should start with a history into legup.social. When we set up paper back in 2016, we've been, myself and a couple of mates, Cam and Mark, we always had the idea of reinvesting some of the profits, some of the money we're making from billable work into this thing we called R&D. And that is stuff that's different, stuff that's interesting, stuff that excites us, and stuff that isn't day-to-day stuff. At the same time as doing that, we always had this idea of like a clinic or an open house or a drop-in, something like that, where people could get help and get help for free. And for whatever reason, that never really took off. But at the same time, we're also doing things that we called legup projects, so often called pro bono work. So projects for people, for clients, where we just didn't charge them. And they were brilliant, they're still brilliant when we do them, but the scale that we could get through them, the speed that we can do them, just wasn't great. We had a backlog of stuff that wanted to help, and people that wanted to help, and just not enough time. And the very short answer, the very quick answer, is we combined all that stuff to form something called legup.social, which I'll cover in a bit more detail. That picture on the right is from Mark. It's a tweet that he sent nearly 4 years ago now, and it doesn't look like it got much traction, and it didn't. But it's hugely important for us, because that was the first time that we put something out there publicly to try and get across what we were trying to do, and that it still means a lot, because that's the start of everything. So legup.social is a completely free to attend mentoring event. It's primarily targeted at small businesses and charities and social enterprises. There's other people that will help, individuals, some local authorities, but the core group are those three. And it's a place where people can get expert advice from people that know their stuff, one-on-one, and yeah, in a really safe place. So the people that are looking for help, we call mentees, and the people that offer help, we call them mentors. I mentioned that because I mentioned that quite a bit throughout this. And we also made it a really safe place for people to socialise afterwards. So legup.social has two parts. The legup bit is the helping bit, and the social bit is the just doing what I think we're pretty good at, just connecting people and making sure that people know each other and spreading good stuff. We're based in 2 cities at the minute, Sheffield and Manchester. There's been talk of other cities cropping up. It's slow. There's been talk of Leeds, a little bit of London, but at the minute we just got home in 2 cities. And I'll talk about this later, but we're on hold because of COVID, how this year's panning out, which is a bit gutting really, but I'll cover that later. I think it's worth covering what legup.social isn't. It is not. It never will be a place where anybody sells anything. It's not a place where mentors sell their services or the things that they offer. It's not a place where people who are looking for help with something sell the thing they want help with. That's really important. That was always from day one, and that will never change. It also includes sponsors as well. That third one seems a little bit strange to mention, but I did want to mention it. It's absolutely not a marketing ploy for us to win work at paper. And I mention it because it was mentioned to us right at the very beginning, which is a bit gutting, to be honest. I think, hopefully, if anybody knows the three of us that set it up, I'd hope that would be far from what people think. But I can get that if you didn't know us and you came across this thing that, you know, on a dark way, there's a weird way that you could think is to get more work. It's not. And yeah, it's not a standalone networking event. There is networking, I guess, to it. There's people meeting, but this isn't a place where there's a glass vase and you drop in your business cards and you win a bottle of gin and all that rubbish. It's nothing about that. Legup.social wouldn't be a thing without this group of people. It feels really weird saying that when my face is on it, but there's a split in this. So the people on the left, so myself, Cam and Mark, Tim, Emma and Andrew, the six of us organise the Sheffield events, and Clara, Ershka, Chiller and Emma organise the Manchester events, and collectively we organise Legup.social. I'm sure Leanne will know from organising CreativeMornings, can take a bit of time. So it takes a couple of days to organise each event, and without us doing it, it wouldn't be a thing. And without the mentors that kindly offer their time regularly, it wouldn't be a thing. It's really meant to see people joining today that are on this list. I hope this does it justice, and thank you to each of you. This is about maybe 2/3 of all the mentors that we've got at the minute. And this has been a really cool thing because some of the reasons that people offer their time is interesting and different. So we have some people that are just setting up in freelance capacity and want to practice more of the things that they offer help with. We have people that live in Sheffield but work in a different city that use it to connect with people. We have people that opposite live elsewhere but want to connect here. We have people that have clauses in contracts that mean they can't do freelance work for paid stuff, so they use Lego as an opportunity to do stuff they love but get around that clause. And without these people and the others that aren't on here, Lego wouldn't be a thing. And that group of people, it's really difficult to condense everything down that we offer particularly onto a slide. I think this is the core of it. I could have done another 2, 3, 4 slides, and I'm not going to read any of this stuff out, but at the core, it's loosely anything to do digital. So stuff about research and design and development and coaching, anything like that. I think one of the beautiful things about Lego, if it's okay saying that, is that when people get in touch with something that we don't think we've got a mentor for, we can go out and find people that are willing to meet the principles but offer their time as well. And we've been doing that more of late. That's pretty cool. To be honest, I just wanted to put a slide in where I could put loads of emojis, and this just felt like the best fit. So we help a lot of different people. I only chose the ones that I could find emojis, so there's tons missing, but you know, I tried. And for me, this is the wicked thing about Lego. Just working and speaking and chatting with people that work at different places that just wouldn't normally get an opportunity to speak to. So, you know, people that work on a farm, and then later that afternoon speaking to people that work in a charity saving lives. It's just really cool, and it's just nice. So this is a small selection of the people that we've helped. There's tons more. I hope it continues. And I thought it'd be good to include just a slide to show how small legup is. I ripped this from the last Creative Mornings where Leanne posted the graphic and stuff like that. Legup's small, so we've had 122 people through the doors. We always hoped, and we always wanted that number to be higher. We hope it will be one day. We've got 61 mentors on books across both cities. That number's way higher than we ever hoped. We've run 24 events since 2017, and yeah, we're in 2 cities, like I mentioned before. I thought I quickly just talk about how it works, just so it gives a bit of an idea. So on the website, which is legup.social, there's a pretty simple form to fill in, whether you're offering help or whether you want help, whether you're in Sheffield or Manchester. And we just have a little free format box to capture a bit of information. The next step is we always organise a quick chat, like a 10-minute chat, and that has a primary goal of really getting to understand what people want help with. Often we didn't want to put a form where it's just asking for way too much information. We know that we can do that quicker in a phone call. And what we're looking to do is just trying to find out what's the main thing that people want help with and just really set the scenes. Often people get in touch and say, we want a website. Getting a website in a 2-hour slot isn't realistic, but understanding whether a website's the right thing, something like that. And we just think that a quick chat is the best way of doing that. That third step, at the point of understanding what people need help with, we can go away and find a mentor. And that, for the most part, is someone that's already on that list. More recently, it's been people asking for help with something that we don't have the skills for. So we had to reach out and find a new mentor, a couple of new mentors. Then we agree all the pairings together. So on that slide where we had the pictures of 10 organisers, obviously split between cities, it's a really good thing because one person's doing all the other stuff so far, just to chat through whether we think the pairings are going to work and whether it's the right thing. I'd say for the most part it is, but often someone else will have an idea that actually that other pairing might better, and what if we swap this person and this person around? And I hope it comes across that all that stuff is quite manual and labour intensive. It is. It's kind of been designed that way. I'm sure there's ways of making it quicker and slicker, but at the minute it's working pretty well. And I think that's the thing that legup is. It's like almost like a matchmaking service for people that need help and people that can give help. The event happens. So the events happen every couple of months. They run for about 2 hours for the mentoring bit, and then a couple of hours for the social bit. And the event's pretty simple. We welcome people. We introduce things. We make sure the principles are clear. We make sure the code of conduct's clear and that people are adhering to that, particularly no selling stuff and just being cool with each other. And then we just get out of the way. We use venues where we can have little groups, tables, pockets, whatever you want to call it. So people have like private one-on-one chats. But then the organisers, of which there's always a few on an event, are walking around and just checking in and making sure everything's cool. And for the vast majority of the time, everything's cool. But if anybody's got any questions, or if we can just pick up on some things like, I don't know, maybe there's a bit of pressure about sharing an email address or something like that, we can just jump in and step in. And then the last bit is the social bit. I'd say that's probably the one thing that I don't think we've nailed yet. We generally, in the past, have gone to a pub because that's the thing that people do. About 18 months ago, we had someone come to an event who had alcohol addiction and therefore couldn't be anywhere near alcohol, and that was rubbish because we'd excluded someone and we just could have done better. So we're still working on that bit, but we'll get there. Yeah, this picture is from the first event back in January 2017. I've used it a few times, and I've always said I have a love-hate relationship with it, and I still do. I don't think that'll ever change. I love it because it proves that we had an idea and we got that idea out there, and it happened. There's proof of that, and that we began helping people. That's cool. There's a lot of stuff that I don't like. I think we could have thought more about the pairings beforehand. 4 blokes mentoring 4 women. I think we could have done better. The room was kindly given to us by Sheffield University, and just feel indebted to them. They gave up the space and people to open it, and that's cool. Looking back, it just felt a bit sterile. The lighting was a bit harsh. The room layout, I don't think particularly worked. We held it on a Friday. That's a really bad idea for an event like Leg Up, not an event like CreativeMornings. And just a lot of stuff like that. Even little things like cans of Coke for refreshments. We thought that was a cool thing. People just wanted water. We learned a lot from that. But I think we got better really quickly. So that second event, 2 months later, we were up to 7 pairings. Shortly after that, we got in touch with the Google Digital Garage, which at the time had a base in Sheffield. They helped promote the event and then gave us a space and gave us people from their team to help organise it. That was amazing. The promotion stuff was like insane. They listed it, and then the next day we had to get in touch and ask them to take it off because we'd been inundated. It did what we hoped it would always do. And that 4th event, so in the summer of 2017, we hit 13 pairings, so 26 people and about 5 organisers. Still our biggest event. It was cool. And Owen Mitchell joined as a sponsor. Owen Mitchell are a Sheffield-based law firm, and just been a pleasure to work with because they've got everything. They've not pressured us to do anything. They've just supported it by paying for event hire and refreshments and just being cool. Those pictures on the bottom, the one on the left is the second event at Sheffield Hallam. It looks busy, it looks better. We changed the layout a little bit, changed name tags and table names and all that stuff. It was better. And then the other 2 are Sheffield, the Digital Garage, which was ace. A place which has 9 TVs, there's a big screen to present in front of, and loads of breakout spaces. It was cool. And 6 months in, we felt like we'd upped our game a little bit. At the same time, we started I feel like I should apologise for taking the piss out of the word chapter. I don't know if I'm allowed to, so sorry, Liam. We started the Manchester events. That's Chiller, who was introducing one of the events at Manchester Central Library. It's been cool in Manchester. It's been very different, a lot smaller, mainly individual people getting in touch, but it's working well. And again, another central place that gives up their space and time and people and refreshments for free. It's just cool. And we've always made a point of moving around. So the top left is Tim introducing an event at Good Things Foundation, an ACE charity based in Sheffield, and a lovely space where we could introduce it and then break out into spaces. The top middle one is Paper Studio at Clyde. It's where we held the last event earlier this year. It was cool. It was good to use the space as it was meant to be designed for. Top right is Blend Kitchen, which is a bar / cafe / social enterprise, again in Sheffield. And we had an event last year there because we wanted to just try something a little bit different. It was at the point where we're just trying to move away from having the social bit in a pub, and we learned tons from that. it was good because it was in a different non-work environment type place. But it was tough because it's really hard to separate. Normally, when the leg up bit ends and the social bit happens, there's a walk where there's some fresh air. We have to walk somewhere. Didn't happen there, and just felt like everything bled into one. And it just, I think people were tired from that one. So it was good to do. I think there's a lot of benefit in splitting the different places. Bottom left is Electric Works, a shared workspace near the train station that they got in touch, got everything, offered their space for free, wanted nothing in return. And that was just cool. The bottom middle is Manchester Central Library from the outside. Beautiful building in the centre of Manchester that's accessible. That's cool. And the bottom right is the garage again. I just wanted to put this picture in, if I'm honest. The chap in the striped t-shirt is Andrew. He's a good friend, a great mentor, and thankfully now an organiser. And this picture was taken, I think, last year. And the two people I'm going to talk, the two ladies I'm going to talk about in a bit more detail later. But for me, I've included because I think if someone had shown us this picture at the point of setting up Leg Up, I think we'd have been very happy. For me, it does everything that I always hoped it would do. It's some people getting advice for free and having a laugh while doing it, and that's just it for us. I know Lisa's on here, so thanks for the photo, Lisa. And yeah, we've learned a lot over the last few years. It's really hard to give away free stuff. The opposite of what we thought would happen happened. We thought when we launched we'd be inundated with people wanting free help, and we thought we'd struggle to find people that could offer help, and the reverse happened. We've got loads of mentors. We'd always like more, please. And we just struggle every single time to fill up the spaces. So yeah, I mentioned earlier, like we capped out at 13 pairings like 3 years ago. We've never ever got close to that. I think part of it is our own problem. We tend to promote stuff through social media, and if you're a charity that wants help with social media, yeah, we're not blind to the problem of that. But yeah, it's just really tough. Sticking to the principles, particularly around no selling, just being good people, and never ever wavering from that has been really cool, particularly when different sponsors got in touch. That's been cool. But just being proactive with anything to diversity inclusion. I said when we started, we did have a problem with the gender balance of mentors, and we went out and did something about that, and we did a couple of talks, and we asked and we said this isn't good enough, and it got better quickly. But it just took us to, we just needed to talk about it, and I'm really glad we did. One of the beautiful things about Leg Up has just been getting to meet new people and just building that network. And that's not in a networking sense, that's just mentees and mentors getting opportunities to chat to each other and doing the thing that I think we're all good at. Maybe it's a little bit different in Sheffield, particularly with being quite small and everyone knowing each other, but it's been a good thing. And then the last thing, just changing stuff has been really helpful. So yeah, the venues we change frequently on purpose. We changed the days that we've hosted events. We started doing these on a Friday, really bad for us, so we moved it to a Thursday, much better. We changed the frequency, gone from monthly to every other month, back to monthly. Generally one person organises it, and we changed that so that there's a different flavour or whatever of someone different hosting it. And little things like refreshments, yeah, just simple things, but it's made a massive difference for us. So next up, I've got just 3 stories from some of the people that we've helped, just to help explain what Leg Up's about. First up, the 2 ladies that were in that picture from earlier, they're Jill and Rene. Jill's the chair and Rene's the membership secretary at something called Friends of Botanical Gardens. For anybody not in Sheffield, Botanical Gardens is a wicked green space about a mile from the city centre. It's got a beautiful glass house, which is in that picture thing there. And they've got a decent membership network. They've got about 500 members at the time of getting in touch, and they wanted a new way of storing and managing data. And at the point of getting in touch with Lego, they had nearly signed up to have this bespoke thing made or built, something technical. And they came just asking for a bit of advice on if that was the right thing to do. So we paired them with Andrew, who's done some of that stuff in his day job. And his advice was, before signing up to something new, just have a look to see if there's something that already exists, something off the shelf, something that you can spend a lot less money on that'll do most of what you're looking for doing. And they did. And they got in touch a few weeks later to say thanks. They saved many, many thousands of pounds by not going with the thing that we're just about to go with, which for us is cool. That's Legup doing what it's meaning to do. When I was speaking to Jill about whether I could talk about this a few weeks ago, she sent an email with the stuff in green below. But equally, like, someone came to an event and got expert advice that was jargon free. It's just an absolute win for us. That's all we're trying to do. And there's a massive bonus that to save some money as well. Next one is a video. I hope this works. I did a slide to introduce this, and then Fiona on video sent me this yesterday, and it does the job.
Hi, my name's Fiona Tatton and I run a business called Womanthology, which is a digital magazine and community aimed at championing women at work. I, unfortunately, 2 years ago was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I had to take a step back from running the business, which, as you might imagine, was incredibly upsetting and difficult. I was fortunate enough to hear about legup.social, know the guys really well, and I came along to a session, so it was going back to last year now. They matched me with Ian Broom, who is their content specialist, and he just couldn't have been more helpful. So he'd looked at my website, looked at all aspects of the business, and had some brilliant suggestions for ways that I might work differently to allow me to get back to work, doing what I loved, but without all the difficulties and all the challenges that I'd been facing. So I cannot recommend legup.social enough. So to anybody, if you're interested in becoming a mentor or a mentee, do it. You won't regret it. It's a brilliant project and it's helped me so much. And I just think it's so important to give back to other people in business. And that is what it's all about.
Cool. I don't know if Fiona's on this. If you ever get to watch this, thank you for doing that. I hope the sound worked on that. And then last up is Andy. He's an ex-teacher, ex-head teacher who spent 17 years teaching our kids. I have a lot of time for teachers. Last year, he set up what is now a charity called Known Value Loved, and its aim is to support kids and let children have a decent education. They generally work in conflict areas. So a lot of work in Bosnia and Palestine, Lebanon and other places. He's just a good person doing a good thing. I think it's fair to say I've put Andy because he came when they had nothing and he wanted help with everything. And I don't mean that in an offensive way. They had no online anything. His messaging about what the charity was about wasn't massively clear. Wanted help with donations, tons more. So in that early chat, we just talked about a lot of stuff and just thought maybe the first thing to get sorted would be the messaging. What's your charity there to do? Who's there to help? What's your vision? All that stuff. So we paired him with Ellen Holcomb, another content person, runs a small studio called Word Person. Officially, they've been paired twice, but one of the things that we do at Legup is anyone's welcome to have conversations outside of the events, just organise that between yourselves. And they've done tons of work. And he's now got his vision and his goals and loads of beautiful content for his charity. He's, thanks to Ellen, got a website up there, and he's starting going out to speak to people that can give donations and stuff like that. And again, I got in touch with him to make sure it's cool about talking about this. And what he was saying is, I think Legup's just speeded stuff up. He could have done everything that he's got. It'd just taken him a lot more time. And he really enjoyed that he can tap into people like Ellen and skills that Ellen have, but also when he needs something else, he knows that he can get in touch and see what's next. And that's what we always thought would happen, always hoped would happen at Legup. Someone would come with something, get some bite-sized information, some small tasks to work on, go away, and then come back at a future event and either ask for help from the same mentor, if that worked, or just come on to the next thing. So maybe contents first, and then branding and building and stuff like that. And over time, you just get a lot of help. And yeah, last few bits from me. We're on hold, and it's a bit gut-wrenching, but it feels like the right thing to do. Our last event was in February. Obviously, this year's happened. We, as an organising team, met up at the start of lockdown to talk about what we should do. And for us, safety and safeguarding is just too important that we just decided to hold things. And the safety bit, I just wanted to explain it because it sounds weird and jarring for a thing that's trying to help people to say we're stopping helping people. I get it, it sounds a bit weird. The safety bit is we run events at places, at buildings, and I guess until recently most of those buildings haven't been opened. A lot of people travel to an event on public transport. That's not made us feel very comfortable. And so physical events just weren't a thing. We did look at moving this onto an online thing. Could we do this via Zoom and stuff like that? But safeguarding is equally as important to us. I was saying earlier that when we run the events, we're in a space and we break out, and then we're always walking around as organisers. That's just so we can keep an eye on things. It's really important. We need to make sure that people feel safe and secure, and people adhering to code of conduct and all that stuff. We didn't think, and I don't think we could do that online without it feeling really jarring. So we decided not to. At the same time, I know that a lot of the mentors, or some of the mentors, are probably struggling. You know, either paid for work or freelance work or other stuff, and put in another burden of asking to help people at a time that's a bit tough. Just didn't feel right, and it still doesn't feel right. So I think we've made the right shout. I think we'll be back at some point. I just don't know when that'll be. And yeah, we're slowly setting up as a charity, really slowly, painfully so, but we're getting there, and Legup will become a thing at some point. I just don't know when. That's me done. Happy to answer any questions at all. If anybody in here is like me and would never answer a question, I'll ask a question in a group, my email address is there. It's jon@legup.social, or Twitter handles there. Feel free to get in touch if asking someone is not your thing. That's me done.
Right. Thank you, John, for that. That was really informative, and the video that Fiona sent through, I don't think that's your marketing kind of sorted. You just need to put that on social media and your website when Legup's back up and running. And I don't think you could sell yourself better than she did for you there. So yeah, if anyone's got any questions that they'd like to ask John, if you want to kind of fire them over now, and then Molly will be able to ask John any questions. Or, as he said, you can always email him afterwards.
Yes, we've had some questions come through. Karen's asked, what was the most common request for mentoring? Is there something that sort of stands out as something people want or need?
Yeah, I think there's two main ones. One is I've heard about social media and I need help promoting my thing via it. So anything to do with social media, but generally seems to be for charities. Don't know why. And I'd say in the first couple of years, and I don't know why it's changed, but it was smaller creative businesses that wanted help selling more of their things. Yeah, they're the two main ones. Social media has just been constant. How do you promote yourself online?
And Gemma's asked sort of, would you ever move out of that world of digital and open up to other mentoring opportunities?
Yeah, hey Gemma. I want to say that we are slowly and loosely dropping the word digital because there's probably tons of reasons. I think we have done. We worked with I have to be careful with my words here. We worked with a council who wanted help with data about 18 months ago, something like that. So it slowly started. I think we'd encourage anything loosely connected to digital. I guess it depends what it is. If it fits in the realms of what Legup's trying to do, and it just means we have to find some more mentors or some different mentors, I think that's absolutely fine.
Great, thank you. I'm just doing a change of location because someone was mowing the grass outside. Gemma again has asked, what have you learned personally from some of the advice mentors have given?
Good question. I have learned that writing stuff down is an absolute must because people forget. So at the start we just did events and then we slowly introduced, like, sounds really noddy, just like goal sheets, just writing down what you've suggested, and just little things like sharing someone's email address. It's pretty basic stuff, but to begin with, we knew there was lots of good conversations, and then we get a few emails the next day saying, I've forgotten everything. Like, I forgot who I was speaking to, how to contact them, and what I said I was going to do. So the stuff we've learned is mainly been about just encouraging people to write stuff down rather than the actual advice that we've been given.
Yeah, I think that's a good tip for anyone and something I often forget to do in important meetings. Finally, Lindsay's asked about how you've not been getting the amount of people you wanted to apply to be mentees. And she's asked, do you have any thoughts on what the barriers are to people getting in touch or asking for help?
Yeah. Hey, Lindsay, good question. Yeah, I've got quite a bit of thought on it, and it's all stuff that we can probably do. I think we just get caught up into organising events and forget about some of the basics, really, maybe. I think we're in our own little bubble, a social bubble, not a social distancing one, in that often we're just promoting to the people who are on here, and maybe we're not reaching a wide enough audience. We tend to, like I said, to do stuff on social media, which I think we just need to change. I think that's it, and we could change that. We just need to put a bit of thought into it. And like I said, the thing that was massive for us is when we were hosting the event at the Google Digital Garage, and we were there for about a year. The Sheffield Digital Garage had a listing page, so it wasn't front page of Google or anything like that. It was just a page on a Google sub-site. It's just bonkers how many people got in touch. So maybe reaching something like that. We've got a decent connection with VAS or Volume Tracks in Sheffield, and they help do a bit of cross promotion and stuff like that. So I just think we need to do a bit more stuff like that and try and stay away from social media. We had an idea right back at the beginning, and it's still on the list to sort out, but what about if we did like a road trip one? Like, could we go to a place, a community centre, something like that? And it needs a lot of thought. It needed a lot of thought beforehand, and it certainly needs more now. But maybe move it away from like parents, more drop in. Maybe there's something in that. I just haven't thought about it much.
I always find Radio Sheffield works as well. If you want the people that aren't on social media, they tend to listen to Radio Sheffield, it seems.
Cheers, Molly.
No worries. That's all questions from me, Leanne, if you want to take the reins back.
I was just saying, are there any kind of mentor skills that you know that you're lacking at the moment, that you're looking for? And how, if someone wanted to go about signing up to become a mentor, how's best to do that?
I'll answer. So to sign up, if you go to legup.social, there's a red button that says join. Fill in that fairly basic form. Click on the radio button that says mentor, and choose Sheffield or Manchester. They're the only options at the minute. With regards to skills, no, we wouldn't encourage or discourage anyone. If it sounds like it's helpful, if it sounds like you might be interested, then just get in touch. It's absolutely. We have loads of people on the books that some have only just helped at one event because they've been busy, and that's cool. There's no pressure to help. It just helps that if we've got a big long list of mentors and we clearly know what people can help with, when someone gets in touch, when we're back up, just know who to contact. So I would encourage anyone to get in touch if you fancy it.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for this morning, Jon, and for telling us about legup.social. I know some of the mentors that take part, and it's always, when they've told me about it, it's always sounded like such a beneficial a program scheme. Sorry, baby brain, I can't think of words. That you've set up, and as well, like you said, I know how much time running an event takes. So it's good of you to donate your time like that to try and help, especially the people that you help, the charities and the social enterprises, the people that really need the help, and that wouldn't be able to afford it otherwise. So I guess so we'll leave it there today. Everyone, thank you for tuning in. I hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, tweet about it and share something on Instagram. Makes me feel good. Yeah. And we'll see you all in September, hopefully. So I've got all the speakers lined up for the next season. Got a few exciting people. So I'll be looking forward to announcing them. But enjoy the rest of your summer, everyone. Stay safe, social distance, wear a mask, all that. And we'll see you again in September. All right. Bye, everyone.